How's it going, guys? Welcome to this pretty wild course on microbiology. So, you're at the first page here, microbe diet course. I you, this course is based around a book I wrote about holistic health and the microbiome, with not only all the information I have, but all the resources and other stuff we have to really help ourselves out now that we have this information. And So there's gonna be I'm gonna go through the main points of the book, and then throughout it, there's gonna be videos going over each section. Um, so just gonna jump right into it. The first part, we're gonna talk a little about me and how I found out about this. How I found out about the microbe diet. Well, I just jump right in. I was going to school studying marketing. Thought marketing was great. Thought it'd be it's a great way to make money. Um, and Around my sophomore year, I was starting to be like, oh wow, there's a lot of talk about profit. A lot of profit and money. Haven't really. I feel like you learn about how to build a business or anything. And it kind of does seem a lot more just like all these companies were trying to just learn about how to make as much money as possible, and that's kind of the way it is. So then I was like, wait, what about the food industry? They're not doing this too, right? They're not like only in business for um, to make money, right? Well, I did some research in my room and I found out that really they make the most money than anyone, and they have a special agreement with the government to get subsidized. They're actually one of the only industries that gets paid billions of dollars on top of the billions of dollars they already make, just because it's so valuable for them, for the government to have a way for the Americans to get cheap food. That's really what they want, to keep America, to have us have food prices low. We're all getting enough food. That's really the main concern. So I was like, wow, 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 wow. What is the real information about food health? And well, I locked myself in my room for 2 weeks, and came out with some pretty really with a lot more questions than I had answers. And I decided to get a minor in holistic health and I learned, what I was learning on my own was kind of all this kind of holistic health stuff. And then the holistic health classes literally went over everything, confirmed so much stuff, and it really kind of sunk things home for me. And I really felt like I was really starting to understand this stuff that even modern science is not really understanding, because it's so new. And that is about how the microbes, the microbiology. But I'm not going to just explain that. I want to first go over some research. So, going into part two, with the super doctors. So, this is something that, all the skeptics would love to say. These guys prove all the skeptics wrong. All right. The stories of these doctors is really the backbone of this giant health movement in America, because they not only have the ability to tell everyone this information, but they have real science to prove everything they've done. They've literally used this stuff on their own patients. So, from if you look down on the list of super doctors, from Dr. Campbell to Dr. Uh, Lustig, all have a very similar story of they want to be in the medical field, be physicians. For whatever reason, they just want to do it. They got to college, graduate, are in the medical industry for 20 years, some of them, and they keep realizing that they really aren't helping people. They're just kind of giving people pills and watching them die. And they they realized, you know what? I'm gonna look into this myself. I'm gonna see what I can discover, find out for myself. And they all start looking at different studies, because now they can read this kind of data that most people cannot read. It's like another language, this scientific data and these research reports. So they can read and understand this stuff, and they start looking into that. They start, what about we take out that? What happens if we take out that? What if we add that? And over time, they start to implement little changes here and there based on their research. Um, another one on, and they're all on their own too. They're all across the whole country, and over time, they all come to a certain conclusion, and that is that when they recommend their patients to, you know, try to limit meat, dairy, processed sugary foods, and bread. Try to limit it for 2 weeks. We'll see what your studies, where your blood work's at, and 2 weeks later, their blood work is down farther than they could think medically possible with current drugs on the market. All of them have the same results and are really, they're just really ecstatic about it. As you see in the videos, I hope you guys put pause this really and watch these videos because they go over everything. Um, and you really see the excitement they have about being able to have a solution for this, because this is a really huge deal. This is a big problem, as I'll get into in the next chapter. All the people in America that are struggling from these chronic diseases or just other problems, obesity. Um, so then, I'm not gonna like go over each of them, but they really have some amazing stories. So now we have some of the more specialized doctors that actually are making the connection with the microbiome. They come from different fields, but their talks and their research is more about this health on a more deeper and more modern level than regular physicians are used to the studies, because these guys can look at all the different studies from all around the world and understand everything. These molecular biologists and neuroscientists, they get it all. So Dr. William Lee starts to he really is one of these doctors that's on top of everything. He has some really great talk about the microbiome and talks about how different foods improve it. Um, Dr. Davis as well, and he talks about how we're actually killing our microbiome, we're destroying our microbiome with different things in the modern world today, and other ways too we can improve our microbiome. Dr. Lowry as well. He did some research on this in himself, and he even implemented it in his own life. And he talks about it in his talk how he noticed a significant difference once he kind of got more onto this microbe diet. And one of his tools is one of the super foods we use in the end. I talk about later. And then another expert, Danielle. She's a plant-based nutrition expert, and she really she travels around the world and learns how more primitive societies are living and what kind of microbe stuff are they getting, and they actually are very healthy in terms of what they're eating and the quality of microbes they're getting, and so that is so these doctors, I highly recommend watching each of their videos. But now we're gonna jump into the health stuff, and I'm gonna make another video for that because this one got a little too long.